So you were curious about moving to the city of Barrie, but you don't know much about the different neighbourhoods. Before you make a move, it is always helpful to find out as much as you can about certain areas within the city. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of what I consider to be the top 5 neighbourhoods in Barrie. These are in no particular order, so let me start off with Ardagh Bluffs. Ardagh Bluffs is on the west side of the city, more towards the south, but not quite in the southwest corner. One big benefit of this area is that it contains the Ardagh Bluffs natural area, Ardagh Bluffs Park. And that is one big park system of over 518 acres with over 17 kilometers of recreational trails. It's a big forest with paths running through it. There are no picnic tables or amenities, and motor vehicles are not allowed. Other than the park, this area is home to several elementary schools, including the aptly named Ardagh Bluffs School, Ferndale Woods Public School, and St. Catherine of Siena Catholic Elementary School. Also, there is Joan of Arc Catholic High School in the area. Now, I would think that most of the high school kids who go to that school and live in the Ardagh Bluffs area would walk to school. There wouldn't be any buses provided because they're all close enough to walk. There is easy access to Highway 400 from this area. Straight down Ardagh Road, and then there's a brand new ramp to the southbound lanes of Highway 400. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but it can cut a few minutes off your trip to Toronto because they redesigned the ramp and made it much easier to access. Next on our list is Allandale Heights. Allandale Heights is an area of Barrie that was started in around the mid-1960s and completed in various stages and subdivisions up until about the mid-1980s. When you hear about Allandale, there are two different sections of Allandale. There is Old Allandale, which is at the bottom of the hill, and at one time was its own separate town, separate from the town of Barrie, like 100 years ago. And then there is Allandale Heights, which is what I am talking about today. When the first section of Allandale was built in the mid-1960s, it was considered a pretty posh area to live. I've heard it referred to as Snob Hill. Properties in this area are generally known for their large lots. Lots that are 50, 60 feet wide by 110, 130 feet deep are the norm in Allandale Heights. Now, the houses themselves are not as big and flashy as houses built more recently. Most of them do not have an ensuite bathroom or walk-in closets, and they're generally less than 2,000 square feet or so. They were constructed as modern houses 50 or 60 years ago, but society and people's tastes have changed over the years. The main reason somebody would buy in Allandale Heights is because of the central location and the size of the lot. There are no postage stamp size lots. You can always fix up and renovate your house, but you can't make your backyard any bigger. One big benefit of this is parking in the driveway. If you have a family with a lot of cars, you won't have a problem finding a house in Allandale with lots of parking. I'm going to tell you straight, there are some areas of Allandale Heights that have had their issues over the years. That being said, it's still a great place to live. I should know. I've lived in Allandale Heights for over 25 years. It's a place I raised my kids. My kids played out in the driveway, they played out in the backyard, and it's been great. Next up, Bayshore. Bayshore kind of covers two separate areas. First off, there's Kingswood on the north side of Big Bay Point Road, which was started to be built in the late 1980s. Then on the south side of Big Bay Point Road, there's Bayshore Estates, which was built in the early 1970s. Kingswood is a subdivision of mostly detached houses built on generally 40 or 50 foot lots. There is some in there that are maybe a little bigger than 50 feet. And a lot of Kingswood is legitimately walking distance to Kempfelt Bay, to the lake. When it was first built, Kingswood was considered a really prestigious area. And don't get me wrong, it still is. But there are other areas in Barrie similar to it now. Bayshore Estates was built in the early 1970s when that section of Barrie belonged to the original Innisfil Township. In here, the houses were originally constructed with septic beds rather than municipal sewer systems, so therefore the lots are large enough to accommodate a septic bed. Some of them can be upwards of 1/4 of an acre. Now they're all converted to municipal sewers. Lots that are big enough for a pool, maybe in addition to your house, or shop, and you would still have a large backyard left over. Similar to Allandale Heights, although the lots in Bayshore Estates are much bigger, people buy in here because of the size of the lot rather than the modern trendy houses, although most of the houses have been updated over the years. Next up is Innisshore. Now, Innisshore is a newer area of Barrie, at least I consider it new. It was started around 20 years ago, took about 10 years to build out and complete. There are now even more new houses being built east of this area on land that Barrie annexed from Innisfil about 15 years ago. This is the far southeastern corner of Barrie on the south side of Kempenfelt Bay. Lots of amenities in the area, baseball diamonds, soccer fields, a few different schools. Even the newest high school in Barrie is built in this area. You can walk to Kempenfelt Bay from this area, but it's a bit of a hike. There are a couple of neighborhood plazas in this area. One of them has a Shoppers Drug Mart and a walk-in medical clinic. One downfall to both Innisshore and Bayshore communities is they're quite a distance from Highway 400. People think that, oh, it's in the south end, it must be a good commuter location. Not necessarily. It can take you more than 10 minutes to get to Highway 400 from parts of Innisshore or Bayshore. And once you get to Highway 400, the on-ramp to 400 southbound from Mapleview Drive is always busy. I don't care what the listing agent has written in the description of the listing that says, great commuter location. And finally we have East Bayfield. East Bayfield area is the one area on this list that is not considered in the south end of Barrie. It is a newer area up off of Bayfield Street, hence the name East Bayfield. Now when I say newer area, it's really about 20 years old. I'm just aging myself here. Even though it is in the north end of Barrie, it has relatively easy access to Highway 400. There is no shortage of shopping in the area. Bayfield Street is one of the main shopping areas of Barrie. In fact, it's the original shopping area in Barrie before Mapleview Drive came along. Been around since forever, and it has everything you need for everyday shopping. Georgian Mall, several different grocery stores to choose from, and the all-important Canadian Tire. East Bayfield is the only area on this list where you can honestly, legitimately walk to one of the main shopping areas in Barrie. The other neighborhoods on this list may have some limited shopping within walking distance, but for the most part, you're getting in your car to go shopping. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and gotten some value out of it. If there are any other neighborhoods that you think should be on this list, please write them in the comments down below so that anybody who watches this video in the future can find out about any neighborhoods that I may have missed. If you have any questions about moving to Barrie or the surrounding area, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description down below. Thank you for watching.